Help me hit 5,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I came home from a night shift expecting silence. The kind that settles into your bones after 12 hours of fluorescent lights, bad coffee, and machines that never sleep. My head was buzzing, my feet aching, but all I wanted was Nancy, normal. Instead, the first thing I noticed was the light. The kitchen light was on. That alone made me slow down. Nancy hated bright lights in the morning. She always said it felt like the house was judging her. I remember smiling at that once, unlocking the door quietly so I wouldn't wake her. My keys barely made a sound when I set them down. I kicked off my boots, still half in work mode, brain foggy. Then I heard laughter, not sleepy, not soft, sharp and careless. I stepped forward, my heart starting to thump for reasons I didn't understand yet. The smell hit me next. Wine. Sweet, expensive. A bottle I recognized because I bought it for our anniversary next month. It was open, half gone. And then I saw them. Nancy was on the kitchen counter, not sitting, perched, one leg bent, the other hanging loose. There was a man standing between her legs, his hands on her thighs like they belonged there. Her head snapped toward me, eyes wide, face drained of color. For a second, no one moved. Felt and real, like I'd walked into someone else's life by mistake. She was the first to speak. "Peter, you weren't supposed to see this." "Not I'm sorry. Not this isn't what it looks like. Just logistics." My body went cold. Not angry, not yet, just empty, like something had been unplugged inside my chest. The guy turned around slowly, confused, annoyed, even like I'd interrupted him. He was my height, clean-cut, wearing a jacket I recognized because I'd seen it hanging in our hallway before. That's when the details started lining up. The late nights, the sudden girls' dinners, the way Nancy had stopped asking about my shifts. I didn't yell. I didn't rush forward. I just reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. Her reaction was instant. "What are you doing?" she snapped, sliding off the counter so fast she nearly slipped. The guy stepped back, hands up, suddenly nervous. "I'm recording," I said calmly. My voice didn't sound like mine. It sounded distant, controlled. Just making sure I remember this correctly. That's when Nancy lost it. "Are you insane?" she shouted, rushing toward me. "Put that away. You can't do that." She tried to grab my phone. I stepped back. My heart was pounding now, but my hands were steady. That scared her more than anything. "Peter, stop. Please," she said, her voice cracking. But it wasn't guilt I heard. It was fear. Fear of consequences. The guy cleared his throat. "Look, man, this is getting out of hand." I didn't know. Didn't know what? I asked, finally looking straight at him. That she was engaged, that we live here, or that this counter was built with my money. He looked at Nancy. She didn't look back. I laughed once, a short bitter sound. "You know what's funny?" I said. "I just worked a night shift to pay for a wedding you apparently canceled without telling me." Nancy started crying then. Real tears. Loud, messy. "It was a mistake," she said. "I wasn't supposed to fall for him. You're never home, Peter. You're always tired." I felt invisible. Invisible. I thought about the ring. I bought the guest list we argued over the future. I was dragging myself through exhaustion to build. I stopped recording and lowered my phone. If this moment already feels unreal to you, tap like so. The story can reach others who've lived it, too. I looked at Nancy one last time. "Get your things," I said quietly. "One of us is leaving tonight." She stared at me, shocked. "You can't just I can," I said. "And I am." Her mouth opened, then closed. The guy shifted awkwardly, suddenly very aware he didn't belong here. I walked past them down the hallway, every step heavier than the last. Behind me, I could hear Nancy calling my name. Not the way she used to. Not with love, with panic. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't turn around. I drove for nearly an hour without a destination. The sky was turning that pale gray blue that comes right before sunrise. The kind that makes everything look honest and unforgiving. My hands were tight on the steering wheel, knuckles white, jaw clenched. But my mind was strangely quiet. No screaming thoughts, no dramatic replay. Just a steady awareness that something permanent had ended. I parked near a small overlook outside town, killed the engine, and sat there listening to it tick as it cooled. My phone buzzed, then again. And again, NY's name lit up the screen like a dare. I didn't answer, not because I wanted revenge, but because I finally understood something I'd ignored for too long. Any conversation right now would only be about easing her panic, not acknowledging what she'd done. I checked the video once, just once, not to torture myself, but to ground myself in reality, to make sure my brain didn't soften it later, didn't rewrite it into something more tolerable. There she was, the counter. The way she said, "You weren't supposed to see this," clear, undeniable. If you've ever had a moment that flipped your life upside down like this, comment the word clarity below. Sometimes naming it helps more than pretending it didn't happen. By the time the sun fully came up, I made a decision. I wasn't going back to beg, negotiate, or extract explanations that would only shift blame. I went to my brother's place instead. He didn't ask questions. He didn't need to. He took one look at my face, handed me coffee, and said, "Stay as long as you need." Later that day, Nancy finally sent a text that wasn't a missed call. "Please, we need to talk. I made a mistake." I stared at it for a long time before replying. I saw everything. There's nothing left to explain. That was it. No insults, no paragraphs, no threats. Silence used properly can be louder than anything you shout. The next week was brutal in a quiet way. Canceling vendors, calling family, watching the future I'd planned dissolve into awkward pauses and sympathetic voices. Some people asked what happened. I kept it simple. She broke my trust. The ones who mattered didn't ask for details. What surprised me most wasn't the pain. It was the relief underneath it. I hadn't realized how much of myself I'd been shrinking to keep things smooth. How often I ignored that knot in my gut because commitment is supposed to mean endurance. Turns out endurance without respect is just self-erasure. Nancy tried again a few days later. This time it was anger accusations. How I abandoned her. How recording was cruel. That's when it clicked fully. She wasn't sorry she did it. She was furious I didn't protect her from the consequences. I blocked her number. If this story resonates with you, consider sharing it with someone who might be silently carrying the same weight. Sometimes a mirror is all someone needs to finally choose themselves. Weeks passed. The shock faded. The sleep returned. I started going to the gym after work, not to punish myself, but to feel solid again. I noticed how quiet evenings could be peaceful instead of lonely. I noticed how breathing felt easier without constantly wondering what I was missing at home. One night, as I was unpacking the last box from my brother's spare room into my new place, I found the ring. I held it for a long time, then closed the box and set it aside, not with anger, with gratitude. It had taught me something expensive, but valuable. Love isn't proven by how much disrespect you tolerate. It's proven by the boundaries you're willing to enforce when it matters most. If you found value in this story, like it, share